Hello, Urban Movement Practices 1, and welcome to my dorm room. I was asked to discuss some of the things we've done in the past couple of weeks with Marguerite and Tamara and the text we read and the Jewishness event and all the things we've been working on. I would like to start out by saying that I'm going to take separate little videos and chop them up because I've tried to film this a couple times and there's a lot of time spent with me going and looking at different things before I want to talk about it. So if it looks a little choppy, I just want to make use of the time I'm given. I want to move into the fact that ballet has come up a lot in some of the things we've been doing, which is strange being that it's an urban movement practices class. I come from a studio background where it was ballet, jazz, contemporary, more technical styles. Even if you did take hip-hop classes, those students were still required to take ballet as well. So I have a bit of a biased opinion when it comes to that. From what I have learned throughout these past couple weeks is not everyone has the same opinion as me. And while their opinion is valid, I still think my opinion is valid. Even in the text we read, it says, ballet, the academic dance form of Europe, offers the most dramatic contrast to Africanist dance aesthetics. Taking it back to Tamara's class, I really liked that she had her African diaspora and the contemporary feel kind of meshed in together. You know, we did the arm swings, and then all of a sudden we were dipping into a pirouette. This is where I think the two opinions start to mesh a little bit, and I really like the way Tamara structured her class that way. Some people, especially at the Jewish and Jewishness conference, there was this argument about how ballet is not a means to comment on something like the Holocaust because of the history of it and the trauma and the fact that it's like a structured technical art form. You know what I mean. Whereas Tamara kind of mixed this classical way of movement with this more free movement that was embodied in this culture. I really like that the text highlights the embracing of conflict and juxtaposition when it comes to African movement. Referring back to Tamara's class again, I feel like there was that strong switch between very culturally influenced movement with the water and the air, and then having that drawn out arabesque. The way she structured it, I think it flowed with having that this and that kind of thing happening. Where I think they differ a lot is the aspect of cool that the text talks about, that kind of grooviness. With ballet, you have this is your arm, that's your arm for however long it's your arm, and then your arm switches to this, and you have your positions. What I think I definitely lack in my urban movement practices is this cool, groovy, kind of like what we did with Marguerite, very free, and you kind of just let your body do what it's doing, and it has that groove. It doesn't have to be super big or super overpowering to have something going on with it. To touch even more on Marguerite's class, where she taught them movements that were inspired by liberation and what was going on in history. While it was about being free and doing what you wanted to do, there was a technique. There was certain parts of the body that should be moved at certain times that connect with other movements, that connect with the music. And I think ballet can have that same feeling, but more of a contemporary ballet style, or a ballet fusion, African diaspora type thing, or some kind of fusion where you have your technical means mixed with something else, kind of like Tamara did. Because I really can appreciate what Marguerite taught us, and I really can appreciate my past ballet training, and I can really appreciate this sense of cool and groove and liberated motion that Marguerite demonstrated.